Can you put any meat on the bones to the sort of urgency to try to calm tensions between Lebanon and Israel? Are there any sort of calls or U.S. government travel you can read out at all? There are some reports that the Pentagon secretary is no longer going to visit this weekend.
So I'm not going to speak to the travel of people in other departments. I will say that we continue to engage with our Israeli counterparts on this. As was publicly reported, Amos Hochstein was just in Israel on Monday, pressing the need for de-escalation and pressing the need for a diplomatic resolution. The Secretary of Defense has talked to the Defense Minister several times in the past few days. We've had conversations between State Department officials and Israeli officials. Those will continue. They will continue at the senior-most levels of the government. At times, we'll read those out, but I can't announce them. I can't make them. I can't announce them publicly before they occur, of course.
And calling for calm has been sort of a routine recital by the administration. Do you have any response to criticism that the U.S. calling for calm while continuing to arm Israel is not a successful strategy for reducing tensions?
So let me say this. First of all, as I said earlier, we continue to be committed to the defense of Israel. You look at the security situation that Israel faces, where they have Hezbollah on their northern border. They have a terrorist group in Gaza that's committed to the destruction of Israel. There are terrorist groups that operate in the West Bank that are committed to the destruction of Israel. Iran, of course, is committed to the destruction of Israel. So, of course, we are committed to Israel's security. By the way, we are required by statute to guarantee that that Israel has a qualitative military edge over rivals in the regions. It's not a discretionary question. It is a statutory requirement, and it is one that we are committed to. So there is also an important deterrent effect to the United States continuing to send a message to Israel's adversaries that if they attack Israel, we will defend it. And that's a message that we will continue to send loud and clear.
It just seems like when the U.S. is visiting in the region, there are escalations that happen, sometimes by Israel's enemies, oftentimes by Israel, that seem to catch U.S. officials by surprise. And it would seem to raise questions about the competency of U.S. policy.
So first of all, I don't think the calendar exactly lines up, only because there are various escalations that happen in this conflict, not on a daily basis, but pretty regular basis, and there are U.S. officials traveling on a pretty regular basis. So when you have U.S. officials in a region that is by its nature volatile, where there are actions happening all the time, of course there's going to be some overlap, but oftentimes there's not overlap. So I think you're drawing an inference that I think in college I was taught was correlation, not causation. It remains a very difficult, volatile region. That has been long before President Biden took office. It will probably continue to be true long after President Biden leaves office. What I can tell you the United States will continue to do is to apply all of our diplomatic muscle to trying to ease tensions, to trying to de-escalate tensions. And if you look at the various points since October 7th, when there was real concern that this conflict would spiral out of control and lead to all-out regional war, the diplomatic efforts that we have pursued have been able to prevent that from happening on a number of different occasions. That, of course, is no guarantee for the future. The investment line about past results being no guarantee of future success. But what it is a sign to us that that's what we need to keep doing, that we need to keep, even in the face of a very difficult situation, doing everything we can to urge all parties to de-escalate tensions, to try to restore calm, and try to refrain from taking steps that can't be reversed.
Causation isn't correlation, but don't U.S. officials risk becoming just part of the furniture in the Middle East, where they're not really taken seriously in anything?
I think the example I was just going through shows exactly the opposite. There have been times throughout the past 11 months where U.S. engagement with our allies and partners in the regions, and the messages that we have been able to organize various allies and partners to send to Iran, to Iranian proxy groups, and the messages that we have delivered to Israel and to other countries have kept this conflict from spilling out of control. Now, as I said, it remains a very difficult, volatile situation, and the situation could escalate at any moment. But we're going to continue to try to prevent that. So far, we have been successful of keeping it from turning into an all-regional war, and that's what we're going to continue to try to pursue. Tom, sorry.